you've been looking around at charities, services offered. How do you give people the right way to recognize this service is not good for me? It could be a little fraudulent. What would be the tips so you don't waste your time and sometimes your own money? What tips could you give so we don't have someone get caught up? Because when you have a kid that's not doing well, whatever the reason, you're very susceptible to the snake oil salesman of the 21st century. Is that true?
That's true.
So what would you give as a tip that you would say, this is not the right thing to do and you should look someplace else?
Well, first thing I would do is look at their charitable record. And you can do that by calling your state attorney general's office. And all the complaints are filed up there. All the recommendations. We have to file testimonials every year as to how we helped our clients. And see if there's anything there.
And if a charity is not putting at least 80%, would you say that's a reasonable figure?
Yes, yes.
80, it could be less, but there'd be a reason for it, toward what they're saying. So if it's 70%, I don't know if I like that one.
No.
Okay, but there are exceptions.
Right.
Okay. That's a charity. What about if you went to a service, a doctor? If they use the word guarantee, I will, I don't know if I can trust that, can you? No one can guarantee.
No.
You say, we can make an effort, we can try, you can check some people I have worked with, and sometimes I try, it doesn't work, and they have to tell you that, look, we will do it 3-4 sessions, and we don't see any kind of progress. And this particular kid, it may not work. I knew a physiotherapist, he's from South America, and he gets kids that say they can't sit up and walk. He gets them, but he always gives them 4 sessions, and he's not expensive. And after the 4 sessions, you see he has not made any progress. He says, look, I'm telling you my therapy, which works 70% of the time, getting a kid that said it can't sit up or walk, works, but not 100%. That person I would trust. But if they guarantee you and write me a check for $5,000, I think we walk away from that kind of person.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the things that I do is before I even recommend somebody, or I go in and I meet with the person first. I see how they operate. I make sure that my client needs are going to be served before I even recommend them. Because if I don't feel comfortable in the service that I'm recommending, my clients are not going to feel comfortable with that service either.
So we agree. So, but after a while, you probably have heard the stories. They promise miracles, write me the check. Mm-hmm. Okay, but you can see how someone could be easily taken. So today, you see an ad for a charity, and before you write that check, go check them out, make sure it's at least 80%, unless there's an exception to the rule, before you write that check. And even then, you can't even be 100% sure, because sometimes you can modify figures. Mm-hmm. Okay, and if it's a good charity, besides writing a check, once in a while, why don't you go and work with the charity? You meet the people of the charity, and you see the people is what we really are giving money to it. And they seem kind, and they're really trying. They may have a kid with a particular problem or a family member with a problem. They probably are the best ones for a charity because they know what the charity is about because they felt it in their own family. Is that true?
That's true. The other thing I would suggest is before you make out that check to a charity, go interview the people in the charity. Go there and say, I'm interested in your organization. Can I sit and talk with you for a few minutes? Also get a contact person. Find out who the president of the charity is. Find out who's under him. This way here, you have a physical name that you can go to if you have any suspicion. Because a staff person behind the phone is not going to be able to give you the information that you really need.
One thing that bothers me, I don't want to mention charity, but they're located in the city of New York on Park Avenue. Park Avenue is pretty expensive. So, you know, I'm sure they do the right thing, but the first time I heard about this charity, 2 Park Avenue bothered me. You know, and I don't know if they understand that. Because if that overhead is going to rent and not a kid, it bothers me. And then you see they do fundraising and they're paying for private jet rides. That would bother you a little bit too. Yeah. And if you also see they get a celebrity, then you find the celebrity didn't do it for free and he's getting paid $20,000. hey, that's a little bit of a red flag too. Is that true?
That's true. I think if you're going to do it for charity, the idea is that the money goes toward what you're doing. I'm not saying people don't need an office, but you cut down on your expenses to put it towards the services. You have to say to yourself, is it really necessary to have that celebrity there? Yes, will attract attention. Of course it will. But remember, whatever you're giving to that charity is going back to that person. So the end is, you're giving to a charity to pay somebody to come to entertain you, when you can go buy a ticket and go see the same person in the theater.
We agree, 100%. So it's a difficult solution, but I don't care what the charity is. If it's a cancer fund, a leukemia fund, you do your homework. Money's getting tight today. And if you only have X amount of money to give that year, try to distribute it. At least it's going to a charity that's a minimum of 80% what they said it to. That means giving that service to a child or a young adult, not giving it to the fundraiser. Because if you're paying, I think there's one charity I saw that the guy that ran it, 10% what's went to the CEO of the charity, which was $300,000 or $350,000. That's outrageous.
It is outrageous.
It's a $3 million fund. I would assume, and he's working full time, I think that figure seems a little bit high.
It does seem high, especially when they're supposed to be doing something under the goodness of their heart and helping people. To me, that's not right. You're doing something for good, but yet you want to also benefit from that. And you can benefit from it by knowing that you help somebody at the end of the day.
Like I heard, people are going to maybe lose their homes because of some things that Countrywide, a lot of these places did. And the guy Countrywide walks away because it was taken over by Bank of America, became a headache and overpriced. He walked away with $80 million. Take that $80 million and give it to charities like what you were trying to do. I'm pretty sure good things would come from it. Not trips to Florida or Bermuda, is that correct?
That's correct. And the $80 million that he got, he could also put back into and helping people save their homes.
Oh, God forbid.
They created the problem, let them undo the problem.
Listen, we live in a country, people are entitled to make a living, but sometimes you're not making it, you're generating it. And that it goes with charities and a lot of things in life. There's some very fine people that we have produced in this country, some very fine charities, some very loving and giving people, and there's the other side of the coin. There's a bell-shaped curve. There's 5% do extraordinary stuff, and there are 5% of unbelievable crooks. A lot of stuff in between.
It's true. I know I'm also an ambassador to the Multiple Sclerosis Association of America. And I chose that one as opposed to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society because everybody at that organization are all volunteers. Nobody gets paid to do what we do. They're based in New Jersey, and everybody there volunteers their time to help people with MS, including getting the equipment. And I chose to go that route because I knew nobody was getting paid. The whole organization was founded by volunteers.
So there's a very good one you happen to mention.
Yes.
So in other words, be careful.
Definitely.